So, have you ever been in that spot, stuck between automation tools that are just way too simple and then these coding frameworks that feel like total overkill? It's a really common problem. Well, today we're diving into n8n. It's a platform built specifically for that gap. It's for the pro makers out there who need real power, but also want that flexibility. Let's break down exactly how it pulls this off.
All right, here's what we've got on tap. First, we're going to look at why NN even exists, what gap it's trying to fill. Then, we'll get into the fun stuff, its real-world impact and its massive role in AI. After that, we'll map out a clear path for you to become a pro, and we'll finish up with some key takeaways you can put into action right away.
Okay, so let's set the stage here. For the longest time, the automation world has been kind of split, right? On one side, you've got your super easy to use no-code tools. On the other, you have these powerful but really complex custom code solutions. Well, NN, it's designed to live right in that sweet spot, right in the middle. And this really gets to a huge shift in philosophy. Think about it. A lot of traditional tools, they charge you per task. So a 50-step workflow could cost you like 10 times more than a 5-step one. It's crazy. You're basically getting penalized for building more powerful, sophisticated systems. NNN's fair code model, especially when you self-host, just flips that whole script. You get predictable costs, unlimited executions. It actually encourages you to build bigger and better. So, what's the secret sauce here? Well, it's all about its node-based architecture. The best way to think about it is like a box of digital Lego blocks. Seriously, each node is one specific action, like get data from an API, send an email, or run a script, and you just connect them. You visually snap them together to build out your process. It's an incredibly intuitive way to make really complex stuff feel totally manageable.
But here's the best part, and this is the real game changer. You're never, ever trapped. Sooner or later, you'll hit a wall where the pre-built Lego blocks just aren't enough. No problem. You just open up a code node and drop in your own custom JavaScript or Python. This is huge because it means the platform grows with you. You can go from your very first simple workflow all the way to a mission-critical system, and you never have to switch tools. All right, that's enough theory. Let's get into the real world and see what this actually looks like when it transforms a business. And trust me, these results, they really speak for themselves.
Okay, get this. Delivery Hero saved 200 hours a month. And that's not from a dozen automations. That's from a single IT operations workflow. Then you've got StepStone. They accelerated their data integration by 25x. Think about that. They took a task that used to take 2 weeks and crushed it down to just 2 hours. And if you want to talk enterprise scale, Vodafone saved over £2.2 million by automating their threat intelligence. So you can see, we're not just talking about saving a few minutes here and there. This is about massive, significant impact on both operations and the bottom line. Okay, let's paint a picture. Imagine it's 3 in the morning. A critical server goes down. Normally, that's a frantic wake-up call, panic, chaos, right? Well, with a workflow like this, n8n is already on it. It's constantly monitoring, it detects the failure, it automatically tries to restart the critical services, and it sends alerts to the team on both Slack and WhatsApp at the same time. The problem gets solved before most people even knew there was a problem. All right, let's shift gears now because we have to talk about one of the most exciting areas where n8n is making waves, AI. It's rapidly becoming the go-to platform for not just basic automations, but for being the brain that orchestrates really complex AI systems. And to get you started, there's the official self-hosted AI starter kit. This thing is awesome. It gives you everything you need to build your own AI workflows in a totally secure, private sandbox. It bundles n8n as the orchestrator, with tools like Ollama for running LLMs locally and Quadrant for your vector data. The bottom line? You can experiment and innovate with AI without ever having to send your sensitive data out to some third-party service. This workflow is a fantastic example of what I mean by orchestration. We're not just sending a single prompt to an AI here. This is a full-blown multi-step creative process, all managed by N8. It takes a story idea, gets the AI to analyze it and pick a framework, then it builds out the plot and characters. Then it iterates, refining the story with more prompts. It even gets the AI to generate editorial feedback on its own work before creating a final polished version. That is true AI orchestration. Okay, so you've seen what's possible. It's pretty amazing, right? Now, let's talk about you. How do you get there?
we're going to lay out a really clear path to take you from just being a competent user to becoming an expert who can build these kinds of incredible systems. And your journey really starts with one critical decision. It's the first big question everyone has to answer. Are you going to go for the convenience of the managed n8n cloud service, or are you ready to unlock the total power and control of a self-hosted instance? Understanding the trade-offs here is absolutely crucial. The cloud is your easy button. It's zero setup, secure out of the box, but the cost scales up with your usage, and there are some limits. On the other hand, self-hosting gives you ultimate flexibility, total data control, and a nice, low, fixed cost. But you're on the hook for everything: the setup, the maintenance, the security. Look, there's no single right answer here. It's all about what's right for your specific needs. Now, if you do decide to self-host for anything serious, anything in production, security is completely non-negotiable. You have to think in layers. At the network level, you need a reverse proxy like Nginx, and you have to enforce HTTPS. At the application level, you absolutely must enable multi-factor authentication and use role-based access. And at the infrastructure level, deploying with Docker is key for isolation, along with keeping everything patched and up to date. And of course, as your automations get bigger and busier, your hardware has to keep pace. This chart is a pretty solid guide. Look, for personal projects or just messing around, you can easily get by with a couple of CPUs and 4 gigs of RAM. But once you start running moderate or even enterprise-level workloads, you're going to have to scale that up quite a bit to make sure everything runs smoothly and doesn't fall over. Whew! We have covered a ton of ground. So let's boil all of this down into a clear, actionable strategy that you can actually start using today. All right, here it is, your 5-step action plan, your playbook for mastery. Number 1, decide. Make that crucial choice, cloud or self-hosted. Number 2, build. Just start. Build simple things, and don't be afraid to lean on the community. They're amazing. 3, embrace the hybrid model. Get comfortable with the code and HTTP request nodes. That's where the real power is. 4, professionalize. Start implementing proper error handling and version control. And finally, number 5, scale. Think ahead and prepare for growth with the right architecture, like using Q mode. This quote really just nails it, doesn't it? n8n creates an automation platform that fundamentally scales with your technical skill and your business's complexity without forcing a change in platform or vendor. I mean, that's the whole idea. It's one platform that grows with you. As you get better, as your business needs get more complicated, n8n is still right there, ready for whatever you throw at it. So I'm going to leave you with this one question to chew on. Just think about it for a second. If the cost per task just went away, if it wasn't a factor anymore, and if the platform's limitations were pretty much gone, what's that one big, hairy, mission-critical process at your company that you would finally automate?